How are you?
Not too bad, mate. How are you?
Good session?
That's right, yeah, not too bad.
Have you got a sweat on? What's your mood at the moment? We've watched Burnley over the last couple of weeks gradually try and claw themselves out of trouble. 7 points from 3 games. What's the feeling amongst that group of players that you've just been training with?
I think excitement, to be honest. You know, we've got 5 games left. A task that many people, including people probably in the club who didn't think that we were going to do it, that we could get out of it, and we've taken a little step towards doing that. Obviously we know there's still, like I say, 5 games left and anything could happen, but yeah, if we manage to do it, I think just excitement out there with the lads. Just want to play the next game. Obviously we've won the last 2 and a little bit of momentum, and if we can keep that going between now and the end of the season, then who knows what could happen.
Have you been surprised at how it's panned out in the last 3 games?
Yeah, to be honest, I think we only had ourselves to blame as to the position that we were in coming into this period of games. I think we haven't been good enough all season, and then last 2 games things have just clicked a little bit more, and we've played with a little bit more freedom and managed to obviously get 2 massive wins, and yeah, more the merrier really going forward.
A lot of analysing about what's happened and why it's happened and all the reasoning behind it. In your view, what's made the difference?
Not sure. I think people talk about, you know, the new manager bounce kind of thing, but I wouldn't say that. I think it's just the guy in charge now has changed a few things. He's let us play with a bit more freedom, and I think just we sat down and we realised, you know, it's only us that can change it, and so far so good. But yeah, I think there's players out there that are playing in slightly different roles and have been given that little bit more freedom to do what they want kind of thing, and it's obviously worked for these 2 games, but hopefully it continues to.
And how many times have you watched that Southampton goal back?
Not many, to be honest. I'm not one to do that, to be honest. I think some guy asked me if it's my wallpaper, but I think I'll keep the one from the Euros there for now.
But also at the weekend you were flying in with last-ditch covering tackles as well. Both sides to your game, obviously. Everything's important at the moment. Yeah,
I think I get confidence from, you know, keeping the ball and playing nice passes and working my way into the game. And I think the Southampton game and the game at the weekend, I think I done that, so it gives me confidence not only to go forward and join in with the attacks, but to defend for my life as well. And I think me, alongside obviously the rest of the lads that have done well on the weekend, to defend, and hopefully going forward we can continue to defend like that, because we'll need to, and then we'll hopefully all have confidence to go the other way, to be honest.
And what do you think about the atmosphere? I'm thinking both at full time for the last 2 home games. The crowd, the noise, the atmosphere, it just feels so strong at the moment. I mean, can you sense what it means to the supporters to actually be staying up if they could?
Yeah, 100%. Like I said at the start, no one expected us to, you know, everyone writ us off really, and I think if we manage to do it, I think it'd be a sense of unbelievable achievement really, and yeah, all the fans are behind us. They always will be. I know I've not been here long, but I can tell even if we don't do it, you know, those fans will still turn up with their numbers, still travel away, still be there singing, and you know, that's what we want to kind of repay them. We haven't been good enough early on in the season, but if we can manage to stay up, then I think it'd be a party atmosphere, to be honest, going forward.
It could be quite a pivotal day, because I think if you beat Watford, effectively you'd send them and Norwich down. Yeah. And effectively move above Leeds before they play City. I mean, I know it's if, buts and maybes, but I mean, yeah, it's a potential to be a really pivotal day.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't really look at the league table since I came here. I've been injured and ill and that, so I just...
You've not looked at the league table in the last couple of days?
Nah, I look at the Championship one to see how Swansea going, but I don't really look into it. Just next game, just try and win. That's all we can do, you know. I think when I get a chance to play, just try and play as best I can, and hopefully we win and move on to the next one, because I said in the interview the other day, I said if we win every game between now and the end of the season, then we'll be all right, and obviously it's not going to happen like that, but yeah, next game, and hopefully we can win a few more.
But you must know that you're at the bottom 3, surely. Somebody's told you that.
Oh, yeah. The boys talk about it in the changing room, but I don't really go look on my phone or anything, to be honest. Just keep myself to myself.
And what about you personally? I mean, such a lot of problems with health and injuries and everything a few months ago. Yeah. You've now got the chance to help Burnley stay up. You've then got the huge Welsh summer, and a little girl as well.
Yeah, mad, to be honest. Mad couple of weeks coming back into the team, you know, playing decent, scored a goal, birth of my daughter and whatnot. But like you say, from early on in the season, I was probably at my lowest point for a long, long time. And to be here now, sitting with a chance of doing the impossible kind of thing, and then going into the summer with Wales and what could be an amazing end to the season, really, if it all clicks together.
An Elsie part of the goal celebration?
Yeah, it wasn't great, was it? But I should have put the thumb down, but in the moment I didn't really think of that, to be honest.
Yeah, we'll forgive you, don't worry.
Yeah, top man.
Thank you.
Does it make you appreciate it more when you've had that really low time and you've not been playing and you've had all those problems, to be back in this position?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's hard to explain. I'd say that it was my lowest. I was, really down in the dumps. I wasn't playing. I was injured. I was ill. I was whatever, and didn't really have a purpose, to be honest. And then since I've come back now, I've been playing a few times. And even when I started playing, when the old manager was here, I wasn't really playing as best as I know I can. And the last few games, I've played decent, and I think it's made me realise that when you're down in those dumps, it can always get better. So. Now things are going good. I don't get carried away too much, but yeah, like you say, I think it does make me appreciate it just that little bit more.
Is that kind of mental, psychological side of being injured or ill or out the team perhaps as difficult as the actual physical side of it?
I think it's harder, to be honest. I think you can train your body, you can go in the gym, you can do this, do that, and not everyone seeks the help or the mental side of it, really, from whoever. So I think some people could struggle even more with that side of it, but luckily for me, I had enough people around me not to slide too deep. But yeah, I'm happy now that everything's going kind of on an upward slant.
Do you feel kind of grateful that we live in an era of football where you can talk about that? Because maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, it kind of wouldn't have been referred to?
Yeah, I suppose so. But me personally, I like to live in my own bubble. I got my family and the people who are really close to me that I'd speak to about that. But I wouldn't really. I'll say to you like that I was low, but I won't go into detail. Know what I mean? But when I go into detail with them, they speak to me and they kind of cheer me up. And obviously, my daughter's here now, so there's more important things in life than not playing well or not playing at all.
If this isn't too daft a question, can you enjoy a relegation battle?
I think so. I think because everyone writ us off, because everyone didn't give us a chance, every time, like the last 2 wins, I think that belief grows a little bit more and a little bit more, and if we did do it, it would be unbelievable. And yeah, I think the excitement and the drive that you get to prove people wrong probably helps us, going forward. So hopefully we can do it, but we'll see.
Does getting a return, actually getting points on the board for the performances and getting something tangible for it, does that make it more satisfying? Does that encourage you and allow you to enjoy it a bit more?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, every time you play, you wanna win games, and that obviously portrays to the board, with 3 points. But I think just the boys out there now playing with freedom, they just wanna enjoy their football, and I think that if everyone plays well and as well as they can do, in the team the last 2 times and going forward, I think then the points will come, and hopefully that's enough. Like you say, it might not be, we could win a couple more and it still not be enough. But yeah, we'll give everything till that last whistle, and hopefully it's enough.
I suppose coming into this changing room relatively recently, you'll have a different perspective on it, because so many lads have been here for a long time and been very much established. Is that changing room one that's kind of self-policing? They set their own standards? Yeah,
definitely. Since I came, I think it's been just that, to be honest. And even now, we've got obviously Jacko in charge, and I think he'd probably say himself he hasn't changed a whole great deal. We kind of police it, along with obviously we got Ben Mee, who's in there, kind of being a voice between us and the board and then staff members. So yeah, I think definitely it's just we all want to do it for each other, for the fans, and for ourselves, really, because if we do manage to do it, and we can speak, in past tense and say, we managed to stay up when everyone said we wouldn't, it would be unbelievable. So yeah.
And we see a lot of big celebrations when teams get promoted from the Championship, quite understandably. If you manage to do this and stay in the Premier League, the prize is the same, isn't it? Should it be celebrated?
I think so, yeah. Like you say, I keep saying that everyone writ us off. Everyone said, Burnley, they ain't doing it this year, and we have taken a few steps to proving them wrong, and if we do that, it will be incredible. And yeah, I think we will definitely, if we do manage to do it, celebrate, and hopefully we can be playing Premier League next year.
Let's hope so. Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Hi, Connor.
All right, mate.
Yeah, good. Are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. Good.
You mentioned the word freedom there a few times, and I've heard a few players sort of say it over the last couple of weeks. Where's that sort of freedom come from? Has Xhaka sort of sat you down and said, express yourself a little bit more, be a bit more individual, or is it just slightly less rigid a setup in terms of tactics on the field than it was under the previous manager? How do you sort of explain it?
Yeah, well, I think you've seen at the weekend an example. You know, we went to a back five when we were trying to hold on to the game, and just little tweaks like that. You know, moving Dwight over from left to right so he can come inside and do a bit more on his left foot. And I think just little things like that. Obviously, letting me go forward, do what I want. That I think I was at Middlesbrough when I forgot his name now. Paul Jenkins was there, and
we'll edit that out, Connor.
When he was there, and yeah, I think he knows what I'm like as a player, and he just said, you know, just enjoy yourself. And I'm at my best when I'm running up and down, enjoying myself. You know, don't take it too seriously. Just play with a smile on my face. And I think, well, I hope that the last two games people have seen that, have, you know, started to do that and go forward and defend just as good.
How much of a role is Paul playing in the sort of, is he part of the on-field coaching setup at training? What's his sort of role with you? Yeah,
coaching. I think just setting up the sessions, and they all do a bit of everything. You know, I think I've seen some people say, "Oh no, Ben Mee's the manager," but he's not really. They all just chip in and do bits of everything really. And I think that is it's a togetherness between them and us, and I think it's working well so far, so hopefully it continues.
You said Xhaka's not really changed, but has anything changed in terms of training? Are the sessions radically different? Are they different time scales or anything like that?
Yeah, not radically different, just a little bit more detail in terms of, you know, who we're playing next and what we're going to try and do to them and what they will probably try and do to us, kind of thing. But just little tweaks, like you say, it's not changed it completely.
And just speaking of who you're playing next, obviously another massive game, they're all massive games at the moment against Watford. You play before Everton and Leeds this weekend, and you play before Everton and Leeds next weekend. How sort of much of an incentive is there to put the pressure on those two teams and see how they handle it, being below Burnley in the table, which they won't have been for a while? Yeah,
I think, like you said, I just go into every game, and we all go into every game now to win, and I think that's just what we have to do. If we do that and we do win, then might put a little bit more pressure onto them. I don't know what, you know, their dressing room or what them as a club are going to think about if they're underneath us, kind of thing. But yeah, for me and the boys in there, I think it's just next game, try and win and see what happens.
Yeah, I suppose my point was they might have not thought they were safe, but they haven't necessarily thought they'll be in the bottom three for weeks and weeks with you being there, and now obviously Everton are and Leeds are back in it when many thought they weren't going to be involved anymore. So
yeah, and I think obviously we're coming to the end of the season, but there's 5-6 games for some teams left, and anything can happen. You know, if they win 5 of those 6 games, then they're well clear of it, kind of thing, probably. But yeah, anything can happen, and it's football. So until that final whistle goes against Newcastle and we're safe, then, you know, we still keep on trying, keep on giving everything we can, and hopefully it's good enough.
Nice one. All the best for the weekend.
Thank you.
Alex. Sorry. Yeah, you mentioned Ben Mee there, Connor. How important a figure is he in terms of obviously somebody who's been here a really long time, but also acting as a kind of conduit between the players and the management?
Yeah, of course, he's been here a long time, played loads of games in the Premier League, he knows what he's doing, kind of thing. And I think the fact that he's injured and he's, you know, acting as, you know, a bit of a manager, coach, whatever you want to call it, it is kind of someone that a lot of the younger lads, especially including myself, can look at on the sideline and like kind of want to do it for him. You know, he's Burnley through and through. He's done all he has for the club, and he'd be as happy as anyone if we managed to do it. And he probably wouldn't play between now and the end of the season. But yeah, he's a massive, you know, figure in the dressing room and on the side of the pitch now. So we all want to play for him as well as we want to play for, you know, everyone next to us when we're on the field.
You talked about the atmosphere in the dressing room as well. I mean, compared to other clubs you've been at, how does it compare? And maybe especially in this situation, has that kind of made that togetherness even more so, maybe?
yeah, I think especially recently it's a bit more free, a bit more normal kind of thing, and we're enjoying it, to be honest. I think it shows on the pitch. Like I said, I mentioned, Dwight McNeil just switching sides, and he's given him a new lease of life kind of thing. He's playing with someone different behind him, and we're trying our best to bring out the best in each other, really. I think he's played unbelievable over the last 2 games. I played a little bit better, and hopefully going forward we can just improve in all over the pitch, really. And yeah, we're all excited for the next game now, because obviously the results and the positive performances that we've had.